Our brain's going to tell us there's this long to-do list. You should do it all. You could do it all. And that's not the answer. And it's the same with the management protocols. It's not about doing more exercise. It's not about doing more meditation. It's not about eating better and better quality food or eating healthier and healthier, that constant strive to do more. It's often about just simplifying and looking at, okay, what's actually important, what's urgent right now, and what are my priorities. And if it doesn't fall into those right now, delegate it, get rid of it. Maybe come back to it another season, another week, another time. Welcome to Beyond Meds, for ADHDers who've tried all the strategies, but life still feels like you're swimming upstream. We go beyond basic ADHD advice to uncovering the root cause solutions that actually work, med-free. So this topic is 5 things. I want to do this as a short episode, a little bullet point episode, if you will. And there can be lots of things that can make your ADHD symptoms worse or even cause them to manifest into your life in the first place. So like all of the topics we discuss here on Beyond Meds, there's nuances to it. So don't take this as gospel, but these are the 5 things that are overlooked, create a huge impact, and just being able to shift them will give you a lot mental relief. Where it's kind of I don't have that holding power over me anymore. And it's taking that little piece of your power back. And we talk a lot about that. That's a foundational concept of managing your ADHD without medication, or even with. This is what's going to really push you forward in managing ADHD and not just getting by and pushing up against a brick wall all the time, but to really be able to go after your goals, achieve them, put your gifts out into the world to feel fulfilling, feel easeful. Where I say live a life of ease. Anyways, I digress. So these things are going to give you that, I'm in control again. I can be intentional now with my actions, because they're the things that create almost a veil where you don't realize that there are things affecting your ADHD, but they're blocking you mentally and in the actions you take in so many ways. So this sounds very high concept, so let's just dive right on in. The first one is trying to do more. I fell into this trap all of the time, and I see this majority of folks with ADHD is the trying to do more. For example, this is one of my favorite examples or analogies is the exercise one, where I run into people that they're exercising daily. And we know that exercise is good for managing ADHD. It releases dopamine, right? It helps with focus and managing your mood levels. Yet, it can actually worsen your symptoms. And I've done an episode on this, and I'll link it below. So trying to do more exercise, or maybe just it's daily, but you're doing more within that 1-hour workout. Like you're pushing too hard, and it's too much stress on your nervous system, and your nervous system isn't able to regulate. And that is actually causing your symptoms to become worse. Or it's causing more stress in your life because you're like, I need to work out. Or I haven't worked out in so long, so I'm going to push my body really hard. And that's a stress. And again, if you're not able to regulate because there's other stress in your life, it's worsening your symptoms. So this trying to do more is not the answer. And this is what I've definitely fell into, and a lot of us do, is we look at TikTok or Instagram, we see all these strategies for ADHD. We're like, okay, gotta put that, gotta implement that, gotta do that one, gotta have that one in my back pocket to implement and put into practice. And that's just causing so much overwhelm and stress. And it's not helping the problem. Maybe it's helping one thing, but it's creating a bigger problem over here. The solution is not doing more. Is the answer doing less? Often the case. For us with ADHD, often we're already doing too much. But it's more of a concept of, I need to know that what I am doing is enough, because I am enough. And that doing less is still enough. And that I'm not lazy, because it's a common thing I hear where you're doing so much, but there's this deep belief of, I'm lazy, so I must do more because what I'm doing is not enough because I'm not enough. And doing more is not the answer. And a practical solution to this is just getting really crystal clear on what's actually urgent, what's actually important, and doing those things or scheduling them in and letting other things go. Getting crystal clear on your priorities for this current season of your life. Like, what are your top 1 or 2, maybe 3 priorities? Everything else goes aside for now, at least for the season of your life. And then those tasks, those daily tasks, what's urgent? What has to get done today? It's like, well, I need to make my lunch for tomorrow for work. That's urgent. I need to get a shower, and that's urgent. What's not so urgent, but super important? It's like, well, I need to get groceries. Not today, but this week. I need to get groceries. I need to do my laundry. Not today, but needs to get done this week. Right? Get really clear, schedule those things in, and let the other things go. Our brain's going to tell us there's this long to-do list. You should do it all. You could do it all. And that's not the answer. And it's the same with the management protocols. It's not about doing more exercise. It's not about doing more meditation. It's not about eating better and better quality food or eating healthier and healthier, that constant strive to do more. It's often about just simplifying and looking at, okay, what's actually important, what's urgent right now, and what are my priorities. And if it doesn't fall into those right now, delegate it, get rid of it. Maybe come back to it another season, another week, another time. Number 2, what is making your ADHD symptoms worse? Following the shoulds. What I call by the shoulds. What are the shoulds? It's, I should do this. I should do that. If I don't do this, then people are going to judge me. They're going to talk about me. They're going to think I'm not enough. I didn't do enough. I'm not good enough. It's the people pleasing. It's taking on commitments you can't fulfill. It's causing the overwhelm. It's causing the burnout. It's the feeling that you're constantly failing. I should do this. I should do this for this person. I should do this for my boss. It's when your boss says, hey, can you stay late to work on this project? And you're like, I don't want to. I got commitments after work. I hate always having to stay overtime to work on things where I'm not getting paid for it, or they don't see my value in it, or it's cutting into my work-life balance. But I should say yes, because my performance review relies on it. My salary relies on it, because they'll think of me in a certain way. I should do it. And that is following the should. And as ADHDers, if you're someone with ADHD, this is something I see all the time that we fall into. It's so hard to say no, and not just say no, but to mean your no, to stand rooted in it. We can be like, no, I can't stay late for work, and make up an excuse. It's like, oh, I have something else to go to. But the next week, if they ask you again, you're like, oh my God, I can't use that same excuse. And then we cave. Versus being like, no, I'm not available for that. No excuse needed. No excuse that has to be created. And then the following week, you can say your no again. And it feels good to you. So what do we do instead? There's lots of things that can go behind this, such as changing our beliefs, our subconscious reprogramming of how we see ourselves, seeing that we are enough, seeing that we can set clear boundaries that are healthy. Again, the self-worth piece in there. But a quick solution is just when an opportunity comes up, when a request comes up, when a task comes up, and you hear yourself in your mind of, I should do this. The should, if that comes up, ask yourself the opposite. It's like, what if I didn't do this? What if I didn't say yes? What would that look like? What would happen? What would play out? And how would that feel? And just play out that scenario in your mind or write it out and then choose that option if you can. If you can't yet, because sometimes it feels impossible. Your stomach goes nuts. Maybe you have some stress sweats. Your body contracts. You're like, I can't say no to my boss of staying late. It's not possible. But I took the moment to explore what would happen if I did. And that's progress forward. Because then maybe next time you're starting to open up that other option for you. Number 3, what is making your ADHD symptoms worse is trying to stick to what I say neurotypical routines. Now, I don't love the term neurotypical neurodivergent. That's a topic for another time to explain why. But trying to stick to what we're going to say is routines that society has created, or we've started to learn, or we've been programmed to believe this is the way it must be done. Kind of goes in with number 2 about the shoulds. Reason being, routines are very black and white. And that can be something that society's created, as in you eat breakfast at 8 a.m., you eat lunch at 12 p.m., you have dinner at 6 p.m., and don't snack at night or maybe a bedtime snack, watch TV before bed, and that is a typical day of food. Don't know why the TV came in there. That's the core routine. It's like, that's what we've been programmed to do. And when we try to follow that, we get so frustrated and we beat ourselves up. And we get stuck in the spiral of, I can't stick to anything. Why doesn't this work for me? I feel this paralysis when I try to stick to a routine because it's so do this or don't do this. Very black and white. And the reason I don't like to say neurotypical is it's going to be the same for neurotypicals. It's just how routines have been set up in society, or what we've been conditioned to believe it has to look like. We're like, it has to look this way, very black and white. And if I don't follow it, which is really hard for a lot of people, I'm a failure. I can't get this. It can't move forward in this task, in this project. It's can't stick to exercise because I can't follow that routine. I can never eat healthy because I can't stick to a meal plan, et cetera, et cetera. So what we want to incorporate is, I like the term systems, whether you use systems and routines, that definition interchangeably. I like to use the term systems. To me, systems mean you're creating a framework for your life, for that specific aspect of your life, for your exercise, for your diet, for your work day. And a system has that a framework, but there's lots of flexibility within it. You're creating it for yourself, so it's specific to you, and you have flexibility to change it based on that specific day, that specific how you feel, the weather, the circumstances you're in that moment. So it's using something that's flexible versus rigid, and the other key part of that is it's created for you. You specifically, not just ADHD in general, can be, but you specifically versus something that society's created that is you've been told to believe you must follow. The food example, I get comments all of the time about this, especially when I'm working in an office around people. And it's something I've been following for, probably a decade, is I don't eat at 8, 12, like 6 p.m. I have what I may call my breakfast at, like, I don't know, 10:30 a.m., 11 a.m., whenever. I usually eat, we call lunch around like 3 o'clock p.m. and then eat supper, depending, again, what my season of my life is, maybe like 7 p.m., 7:30, sometimes it used to be later. And I always get comments like, you're eating lunch so late. And I was like, well, I mean, I can eat lunch whenever I want. Like, why would I eat it at noon when I'm not hungry, or 1 o'clock when I'm not hungry? I can just call this meal number 2 of the day. And I used to just call it that. I was like, well, it's not really lunch. I'm just having meal number 3. Or people would comment, you're eating that for breakfast, lunch, supper. I was like, I just call it meal 1, 2, 3, and 4. It's just, I'm hungry. This feels right for me now. I'm going to eat now. So that's a system for myself, because if I'm not hungry, I'm not going to eat at that time. But generally, those are the times I kind of eat. And I eat the food that feels good in that part of the day based on what's happening in my day. And this is what I would coach on when I was doing one-to-one coaching all the time, on creating systems for exercise. And this was the secret, one of the secrets for all of my clients, 100% success rate for them to stick with exercise past a 12-week mark, past like a 16, 20-week mark, and actually find it easy to stick to and enjoyable, and wouldn't get thrown off if life changed, because it's a system. It was flexible. It wasn't, you must do this workout on this day at this time. It was, okay, I'm going to work out first thing in the morning, no matter what time I get up. That could be like 8 a.m., 7 a.m., 12 p.m. So it's no more get up early to work out, is workout that's the first thing you do in the day, doesn't matter what time. Or it could be you're working out when you're done work and before supper. So that could be any time between maybe 4 and 7 p.m. You're like, haven't had supper yet. I'm finished work though. I have this huge window. This is when I'm generally going to work out. So it's creating a system that feels good for you, that's flexible. You're not trying to fit in the mold of something that society's created that doesn't work for you. And honestly, it doesn't work for a lot of people. It's just a lot of people, what we would maybe say neurotypicals, don't question it. Versus someone who's been diagnosed with ADHD, who's been told neurodivergent, I feel like we're the people who start to question it a little bit more because we realize that doesn't work for me. Wow, this has been set up in one way. Is there another way I can approach this?
I always get asked, what did I do to minimize my ADHD symptoms to virtually nothing? How do I manage med-free? And although there are many contributing factors, which I teach on this podcast, there is one that stands out, which has made the greatest impact in managing my ADHD, along with contributing to me just being able to trust the flow of life more and being more at ease with it. And that is my daily self-hypnosis work, where I reprogram my subconscious mind to create new neural pathways. These new neural pathways support the life I want to create and have. I do this with the help and guidance of the 2E Magnetic program and app. The 2E Magnetic program guides me through these self-hypnosis tracks to work through, heal, and reprogram whatever I want to focus on, such as money and spending habits, health and body image, getting past procrastination, taking intentional versus impulsive action, and some of my other favorites, doing deep inner child and shadow work, both which have resulted in deep inner healing that have contributed to a decrease in my ADHD symptoms. Best part, it's at the fraction of a cost of typical hypnosis sessions, and I can do it in the comfort and safety of my own bedroom. Hands down, this is the best membership I've ever joined. And honestly, I tell everyone I know about on how impactful it's been for me and that I know will be for them as well. So I'm excited to offer you, as a listener of Beyond Meds, a 15% off discount on the membership. Just use the link below and you can sign up either on a payment plan or pay in full with that 15% off. Again, that's 15% off their membership to do self-hypnosis work and reprogram your subconscious mind to have the life that you desire.
If you've been listening to Beyond Meds, you've probably learned by now that support doesn't start and end with medication. Meds can help, but they're not the whole picture. That's why I want to tell you about ADHD Central. ADHD Central makes simple analog tools designed to work with your brain, not against it. That means no more apps that get lost in your phone, no more endless notifications, no more thousands of tabs on your computer. Just thoughtfully designed paper tools that help with things like working memory, getting started, and actually following through. Their flagship product is called On Track Cards. It's a daily pocket planner you can carry with you, designed to reduce overwhelm and help you focus on what matters today. I've been using these for a couple months now, and it's been game-changing to get done what's important to me without getting lost in my endless to-do list. Now, they also make something called Big Sheets. These are large format planning notepads for things like brain dumps, priorities, habits, and weekly planning. Now, if paper isn't always practical for you, they do offer printable versions you can download and use however works best for you. Everything ADHD Central creates is flexible, supportive, and intentionally off-screen. If you want to check them out, you can head on over to ADHDcentral.com and you're going to get 20% off as a listener of Beyond Meds. Just use code BeyondMeds20 at checkout. That's BeyondMeds20. I'll link in the description for you below as well. Number 4, what makes ADHD symptoms worse is second guessing yourself and then jumping ship on new habits that you do create. It links to the one before, which I didn't mention, is that systems create trust in yourself, that you can stick to something because you're creating it for you with that flexibility. And this comes back to the self-trust in this number 4. And there's lots of nuances, and second guessing yourself can stem from a lot of things. If we look back on childhood, when we developed our belief system, our self-worth, where we're at with that, is maybe you're always told you're wrong. Maybe you're told you should follow your older brother because he knows what he's doing. You don't. In school, always getting poor grades, be like, you should follow that student. They know what they're doing. Model them. So then you lose this trust in yourself. You're like, clearly, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm not smart enough. I need to look outside myself for the answers. So when we're presented with things now currently in life, paired that with ADHD, we may, for example, create a schedule for the week of your work schedule, maybe your workout schedule, just getting stuff done around the house. And we're like, amazing, plan this all out, feel on top of the world. And then the day comes that you schedule your things in and you're like, should I do my laundry today? Maybe I should prep food instead. Or should I do that workout? Maybe I should do a different workout. Or I have this workout plan, but I don't know if it's actually that good. Maybe I'll find a different workout program. And you spend the whole workout time researching new workout programs because you're second guessing yourself. You set this out at a time where, yes, this feels good. And then the next moment, the next day, like, I don't know. I don't trust this because I don't trust myself that this will work for me. This is what I should be doing, that I can do this. And then we jump ship. We either replan everything, we waste time just second guessing, ruminating, researching. And then we create this new habit and we just jump ship, right? We set out this workout routine, feels good for a week, and then we second guess it and we fall off. We start something different. We mix and match with workout routines and we don't get the results we want. We see workout a lot as an example, but I think that's a very universal one for a lot of us. Yeah, the self-trust. And this is deeply rooted in our self-worth, how we see ourselves, and just our belief, our deep-rooted belief in ourselves. And I talk a lot about that on this podcast. We won't go too much into that in this episode. So what to do instead is implement that new habit, implement a new system. And this is a hack I used all the time and I still use to this day. I found it so effective. When I coach clients, it was also something I taught them that they also found a lot of value in, is to tell yourself it's a 14-day experiment. The reason 14 days, that I believe there is quite a bit of science around this as well. I think I learned this years ago from someone else who was also, I think it was like a physiotherapist. He's like, just do it for 14 days. It's the right amount of time to see some sort of results, but it's not to get into the habit of it, not create a strong habit, but get into the habit and enough that you can see the result, but you can also see if it's not working for you or if it doesn't just work with your life, your routine. And in our mind, it's a short amount of time, especially with folks with ADHD, it's a short amount of time that it doesn't feel overwhelming, but it doesn't feel too short that it doesn't make an impact, right? If we say 1 week, we're like, oh, that's not going to make an impact. 30 days, we're like, okay, that sounds right. But then we're like, oh, I've never stuck to anything for 30 days. Like that just feels so long. Versus 2 weeks, it's 14 days. Sure, that feels like I could make a change. That doesn't feel too long. And it's an experiment, meaning I haven't wasted much time. It gives me enough feedback to know if it's working for me. But if it is working, I'm going to see some sort of results from it. So start that new habit, start that new workout routine, and give yourself full permission to be like, I can completely change this workout routine. I can completely drop it or this workout schedule using a system, not a routine, after 14 days. But I'm going to do it for 14 days. And typically after 14 days, you're like, okay, I gotta do a new experiment. Am I gonna keep this? I'm gonna make some changes. How's this work for my lifestyle? And run another 14-day experiment. So we constantly do these 14-day experiments. And again, the term experiment can work really well because we're like, I'm not stuck to this. I can change this. I'm just testing it out. And we don't have that fear of I must commit. If I can't commit, if I can't stick to it, I'm failing and I'm not good enough. And that self-deprecation spiral we go down to. So 14-day experiments, give yourself full permission to completely change it, drop it off, or keep with it and do another 14-day experiment if you like. And the fifth thing that is making your ADHD symptoms worse is looking at your ADHD or believing it is a disorder that needs to be fixed. Now, I did a whole episode on this. It should be released by the time this one is released, which I will link below. This has been the catalyst for myself for being able to manage and really surpass and thrive with ADHD, although it doesn't hinder me anymore, so I don't use that label, without medication. Not like I changed my belief and everything was roses and sunshine, but this was the thing that changed my whole trajectory on how I showed up, the things I did, and again, the results I got was looking at my ADHD as not a disorder, but just a diagnosis that was information, but it doesn't affect me. It isn't me. It's just cool. This is something the medical world has put a label on. They have now said that this label applies to me. That's it. And I'm not letting it mean anything. I'm not letting it mean anything about my worth. I'm not letting it mean anything about the agency I have in my life, how I show up in my life, how I use my skills and gifts in the world to make an impact. It doesn't mean anything. It's just something that is a label, a category, not even maybe a fact, because maybe I don't even want to say it's a fact. It's just what it is. It is what it is. It means nothing. And as soon as we can look at it, you don't need to look at it maybe that way for yourself, but as soon as we can look at it in a different way and believe it in a different way that feels more empowering for yourself, where you feel you have your power in an agency in making choices and showing up in your full worthiness and deservingness, that changes the actions you take. Because no longer, oh, I'm late again, it's because of my ADHD, I'll never be on time. My God, I have more like admin work, data entry work at my job that, I just can't focus to do it. It's because my ADHD gets in the way and I never get it done. My boss gets so angry, I'm so mad I can never get that done. Or I get stuck in a hyper focus, and as soon as I break out of it, I just can't focus anymore. It's my ADHD. It's always the case for me. As soon as you break out of that, thinking of, it's not up. Maybe it's a hyper focus. I'm just focusing right now on this and it feels good. Great. When I'm done, it means I needed a break, that I've been doing so much work and I need just a break to just be in the moment and do something that feels just like, less task oriented. And I know I can get back into that because my entire life I've been able to focus for big spurts of time. It's great, right? It doesn't mean anything. I'm not attaching the ADHD label to it. I'm just saying, this is fact. I focused and now I'm a human. I need a break and I'm going to be able to focus again, whether later today, tomorrow, next week, depending on my energy management. Oh, I was late. Okay. That's not what I want to do continually. I'm holding myself to a higher standard. I'm changing the way I believe and look at my life and myself. And I have a standard myself that I'm going to start to be on time. I'm going to start to take the actions towards that. These are different beliefs we can hold about ourselves or how we see things that can completely change the thoughts you think and the actions you take. And then, of course, results you get. They know some of you, maybe all of you, majority of you, probably thinking, yeah, but I have ADHD. I can't just be on time. I can't just get back in the hyper focus. And that's exactly what I'm talking about. It's getting rid of this victim mentality. Yes, you may be diagnosed with ADHD. Yes, it may be really hard to do things. That is so true for your reality. But that doesn't mean you can't look at it a different perspective. You can be like, this is really challenging for me to be on time. It's really challenging. Cool. Okay, it's really challenging. Great. Let's change that. But I want to see myself in a different way. I know I'm a worthy human. I know I'm deserving of everything I want. And I'm holding myself to a higher standard. And I'm going to do the things that are going to help me be on time. And this is where what we teach is so nuanced and so specific to every one of you, because it's not just, okay, well, this is the exact protocol of strategies you're going to do. It's once you change the beliefs and how you see yourself and your self-worth and deservingness, you're going to be like, okay, I know what to do because I hold myself to a higher standard. And I know that this is going to look this way for me. It's kind of like the work example for like, I just can't get this data entry stuff done. I'm just not good with details. It's boring. I can't focus on it. That was me for a hot minute, very, very long time. And now I can do it with a lot of ease because I'm like, I hold myself to a higher standard. I look at myself as someone who gets their job duties done. Even if I don't like it, that's a preference. Even if it's hard, I have strategies to make this doable for me. And I'm going to sit with this discomfort because I can hold this discomfort of this task. And I'm going to choose now to do it and have the intention. Again, you may be like, that's not possible. Because for me, at one point in time, that was not possible. But again, starting to change your belief. This can be doing a lot of subconscious reprogramming work through, like, say, hypnotherapy as an example. But starting to change your belief and how you see ADHD is going to start to move the needle forward on how you think of yourself and how you start to take actions. And it will feel, I won't say natural, because you're changing the way you look at the world. If you're like, I always see the sky as blue, and someone's like, no, the sky is red. 2 different perceptions, 2 different beliefs, and how each person shows up in the world is going to be completely different. I didn't want to go too deep on this one because this one's a big topic. I have some other episodes we go into this one. But know that your ADHD can be, say, what the label you've been given can be a fact, but it doesn't define your worth and your deservingness, and it doesn't need to mean anything. So just give yourself a big hug. You're doing great. Know that your dreams, your goals, you have so much more potential to put out into this world. Know that it's so possible for you. It is. It truly is. It's been the case for me. I know it's been the case for others. So just give yourself a hug and say it loud. There's like the 5 things you're so proud of yourself for right now. That's like a great way to snap out of it and to see all of your goodness you bring to this world and how unique and worthy you are, and that you have gifts, zones of genius. I love that term, that only you have, because only you can put them into the world and use them in the way that's unique to you. We may have similar gifts and skills, but I can't do them like you can, and vice versa. And that's magic. It's magic. Okay, those were the 5 things that make your ADHD symptoms worse and how to get past them. If you have any comments, questions specifically, you have questions on any of this or things you'd like me to go deeper into, where you're like, okay, but what about this scenario? Or I don't quite get that. Or I get what you're saying, but I don't see how this is possible for me in this specific case. Ask them below. Drop a comment, whether you're watching this on YouTube or Spotify. I would love to help you through that, whether that is another podcast episode or I reply in the comment or send me an email if you don't want to reply publicly. I want to create this podcast for you, and that the way to do that is let me know what's coming up for you. And then also, as you've heard from probably every other show, please subscribe if you like this. Please download it. Hit the bell icon if you're watching on YouTube. That gives you the notification that new episodes are up, so you don't have to keep checking and searching and getting lost in the rabbit hole, which is useful. And it helps me reach more people. It's honestly one of the greatest gifts is for you to engage with this episode. This has been a slice. Let's do this again next time. Okay. Much love. Take care.